It seems that a common part of human nature is our keen ability to identify the flaws and less than desirable behaviors of other people on the one hand, but our notably limited ability to identify our own negative behaviors when we ourselves act in a way that proves less than stellar on the other. When it comes to our truest selves, not only how we perceive ourselves to be, but how we actually are, the type of parent, partner, child, sibling, friend, employee, colleague, community member we actually are, modern research suggests that our own perceptions tend to prove pretty different from reality. It turns out we have real blind spots, in particular when it comes to our own character flaws. As this month of Elul begins to draw to a close and the high holy days prove only a few days away, what can we do to address these personal blind spots? Turns out it's not so different than what we do to address blind spots in our driving. When we adjust the angle of our rear view mirrors outward, whatever was previously in a blind spot comes into view. Interestingly, Jewish wisdom suggests we do the very same thing to identify and eliminate the blind spots in our own lives. Consider this teaching from the Hasidic master, Rabbi Yaakov Yosef. When you see something ugly or unbecoming in another person, it is for your good that you have seen this, since you have some aspect of this same ugliness in you as well, and this, your noticing it, will move your heart to teshuvah. Put a different way, when we encounter something negative in another person, instead of focusing our judgment solely toward that person, we can instead choose to understand the encounter as a gift to us, the gift of a mirror, because it turns out that the negative qualities we're able to identify so easily in others, well, those are actually reflections of those same negative qualities in ourselves. We just couldn't see them before because they were in our blind spots. If you've ever studied Jungian psychology, you know that this notion became one of Jung's major tenets. It turns out that our reactions to the negative qualities in others, well, this can illuminate for us those areas in which we are deficit ourselves. We can use the clear sight lines we have when it comes to identifying the sins and failures of others as the opportunity to remember the teaching of Rabbi Yaakov Yosef, shifting our focus at that point back onto ourselves, seeing the other as a reflection of ourselves, those lesser parts of ourselves to which we're otherwise blinded. These are now in full view, and we can move forward with greater empathy for others and change ourselves for the better at the very same time. Want to practice this? Take some time to consider a situation in which you judged someone negatively. Use that as an invitation to actively deepen your own work toward personal accountability. In what ways does the negative aspect of the other reflect an aspect of yourself that's ripe for change and growth? Now that you can identify this quality in yourself, what steps are you going to take to make teshuvah, to change? It's not too late to start that effort. And the truth is, this practice is one we can choose to take up anytime we want to cultivate more compassion for others and invest our energies in becoming the best versions of ourselves we can be. Isn't that the entire point of the High Holy Days? On behalf of all of us here at NSCI, we're looking forward to seeing you over the next High Holy Day season. Shana Tova.